Dear students, today we will start in number theory and trigonometry, the first unit, chapter number 2, congruences. First definition is of moduli of integers. If m is any number, then any other number n can be expressed as n is equal to mq plus r, where q is the integral quotient when n is divided by m and r is the remainder, such that r is between 0 to m and r may be 0. The number m is called the modulus. The number m is called the modulus. Now, next definition for congruences. If a and b are two integers and m is a positive integer such that m divides a minus b, that is m is a divisor of a minus b, then a is said to be congruent to b modulo m and is expressed as a is congruent to b mod m, or a minus b is congruent to 0 mod m, or a minus b is congruent to, or a minus b is equal to km for some integer k. In this case, a minus b is a multiple of m and each number a or b is said to be a residue of the other. If m does not divide a minus b, then a is called incongruent to b modulo m. Here m is said to be the modulus of the congruence. For example, both 31 and 7 leave the same remainder 3 when divided by 4. Therefore, 31 is congruent to 7 mod 4. Since 4 divides 31 minus 7. Similarly, 35 is congruent to minus 5 mod 8. Since 8 divides 35 minus 5. Similarly, minus 71 is congruent to 9 mod m. Since 5 divides minus 80. 71 is not congruent to 9 mod 5. Since 5 does not divide 71 minus 9. That is, 71 is not congruent to 9 mod 5. Now we are taking some theorems on congruences. Theorem first: an integer is congruent to its remainder. For the proof, let r be the remainder obtained on dividing a by m. Therefore, a can be written as mq plus r, that is, a minus r is equal to mq. Therefore, by definition of divisibility, m divides a minus r. Therefore, a is congruent to mod m. Now, next result: if a is congruent to b mod m, then a and b leave the same remainder when divided by m, and conversely. We have a is congruent to b mod m. This is given. Therefore, m divides a minus b, marking this as number 1. Let r1 and r2 be the remainder when a and b are divided by m, where r1 is between 0 to m and r2 is between 0 to m. Therefore, a is equal to a1m plus r1 and b is equal to b1m plus r2, where a1, b1 are integers. Putting these values of a and b in equation, first we have m divides a1m plus r1 minus b1m plus r2. That is, m divides m times a1 minus b1 plus r1 minus r2. But m divides m into a1 minus b1, since m divides m and hence m divides m times a1 minus b1. Therefore, m also divides r1 minus r2, but r1 minus r2 is less than by m. Since r1 is less than m, r2 is less than m. Therefore, r1 minus R2 must be 0, or R1 is equal to R2. Hence A and B have the same remainder when divided by M. Now the converse part, let R be the common remainder when A and B are divided by M, so that A is equal to K1M plus R, marking this as number 1, and B is equal to K2M plus R, marking this as number 2, where K1 and K2 are any integers. Subtracting second from first, we have A minus B is equal to K1 minus K2M is equal to Km, where K is equal to K1 minus K2. Therefore, M divides A minus B. Thus, A is congruent to B mod M. Now, theorem third, the relation of congruency is an equivalence relation, or show that A is congruent to A mod M, that is, every integer is congruent to itself. Second is, if A is congruent to B mod M, then B is congruent to A mod M. Third is, A is congruent to B mod M and B is congruent to C mod M, then A is congruent to C mod M. Therefore, for the proof, by definition of congruency, we know that A is congruent to B mod M if M divides A minus B. To prove the relation to be an equivalence, we have to show that it is reflexive, symmetric and transitive. Reflexive means A is congruent to A. Since M divides A minus A, therefore A is congruent to A mod M. Hence, the relation is reflexive. Second, symmetric, we have A is congruent to B mod M. This implies M divides A minus B, and this implies also B minus A is also divisible by M. This implies B is congruent to A mod M. Thus, if A is congruent to B mod M, then B is congruent to A mod M. Hence, the relation is symmetric. Third relation is transitive. We have A is congruent to B mod M implies M divides A minus B, and B is congruent to C mod M. This implies M divides B minus C. Therefore, M divides A minus B plus B minus C also implies M divides A minus C. Therefore, A is congruent to C mod M. Thus, if A is congruent to B mod M and B is congruent to C mod M, then A is congruent to C mod M. Hence, the relation of congruency is also transitive. Thus, the relation of congruency on the set of integers is an equivalence relation. Now, theorem fourth, if A is congruent to B mod M, then A plus X is congruent to B plus X mod M, and AX is congruent to BX mod M, where X is any integer. Now, for the proof, we have A is congruent to B mod M, therefore M divides A minus B, or we can say M divides A plus X minus B plus X. Therefore, by definition of congruency, A plus X is congruent to B plus X mod M. Also from first, M divides A minus B, therefore M divides A minus B into X, or M divides AX minus BX. Therefore, by definition of congruency, AX is congruent to BX mod M. If A is congruent to B mod M and C is congruent to D mod M, then first is A minus C is congruent to B minus D mod M, A plus C congruent to B plus D mod M, AC is congruent to BD mod M. For the proof, since A is congruent to B mod M and C is congruent to D mod M, this is given. Therefore, M divides A minus B and M divides C minus D. That is, A minus B is equal to M times K1 and C minus D is equal to M times K2, marking this as number 1, where K1 and K2 are integers. First one, A minus B minus CD becomes equal to MK1 minus MK2, M into K1 minus K2, or mk where k is equal to k1 minus k2, or a minus c minus b minus d is equal to mk, therefore a minus c is congruent to b minus d mod m. Again from first we have a minus b plus c minus d is equal to mk1 plus mk2 or equal to mp. P is here k1 plus k2. Sum of integers is again an integer. So a plus c minus b plus d is equal to mp. Therefore a plus c is congruent to b plus d mod m. Now AC minus BD is written as A minus B into C plus C minus D into B equal to MK1C plus MK2B, that is ML. L is here K1C plus K2B. Therefore AC is congruent to BD mod M. Now making the generalization, if A1, A2, A3, AR are respectively congruent to B1, B2, B3, BR with respect to mod M, then A1 multiplied with A2 multiplied with A3 multiplied with AR is congruent to B1 multiplied with B2 multiplied with B3 multiplied BR mod M. Since A1 is congruent to B1 mod M, A2 is congruent to B2 mod M, AR is congruent to BR mod M. Therefore, M divides A1 minus B1, A2 minus B2, AR minus BR. Therefore, by definition of divisibility, there exist integers D1, D2, Dr such that A1 minus B1 is equal to MD1, A2 minus B2, MD2 and AR minus BR is equal to MDR. Therefore, A1 is equal to B1 plus MD1, A2 is B2 plus MD2, AR is equal to BR plus MDR. Therefore, multiplying we have A1 into A2 into so on AR is equal to B1 into B2 into BR plus some M times an integer, or written as A1 into A2 into AR minus B1 B2 BR is equal to M into an integer. Therefore, this is the definition for congruency. A1 into A2 into AR is congruent to B1 B2 BR mod M. Now, making the important remark, a congruence can always be multiplied by an integer. That is, if A is congruent to B mod M, then AX is congruent to BX mod M. But it is not always possible to cancel a common factor from a congruence. For example, in the congruence 36 is congruent to 16 mod 10, it is not permissible to cancel the common factor 4 from the numbers 36 and 16. If we do so, we get a false result as 9 is congruent to 4 mod 10. It is only possible if the common factor is relatively prime to the modulus, which is clear from the following theorem. If CA is congruent to CB mod M and C greatest common divisor of C and M is equal to 1, then A is congruent to B mod M. Since CA is congruent to CB mod M, therefore C divides CA minus CB, or M divides C into A minus B. But since Cm is equal to 1, that is C is relatively prime to M, therefore M divides A minus B. Hence, by Gauss theorem, hence A is congruent to B mod M. Next result, if CA is congruent to CB mod M and greatest common divisor of C and M is D, and M is equal to D into M1, then A is congruent to B mod M1. Also prove the converse. Since greatest common divisor of C and M is D, therefore there exist integers C1 and M1 such that C is equal to D C1 and M is equal to D M1, and 1 is the only common divisor of C1 and m1, that is c1 and m1 are relatively prime. Now ca is congruent to cb mod m, therefore m divides ca minus cb, that is m divides c into a minus b, that is putting the values for m and c, m1d divides c1d a minus b, that is m1 divides c1 a minus b, that is m1 divides a minus b, therefore a is congruent to b mod m1. Now the converse part, a is congruent to b mod m1, this implies m1 divides a minus b, this implies m1 divides c1 into a minus b, this implies m1d divides c1d a minus b, this implies m divides c into a minus b, implies m divides ca minus cb, therefore ca is congruent to cb mod m. Now next result, if a is congruent to b mod m, then prove that a raised to power k is congruent to b raised to power k mod m for every positive integer k. Since a is congruent to b mod m, therefore m divides a minus b. Thus there exists an integer t such that a minus b is equal to mt. Now consider this term ak minus bk. This is equal to a minus b into a raised to power k minus 1 plus a raised to power k minus 2 into b plus so on plus b raised to power k minus 1. Using first here, this is equal to mt into a raised to power k minus 1 plus a raised to power k minus 2 into b plus so on plus b raised to power k minus 1. Therefore m divides ak minus bk, therefore ak is congruent to bk mod m. Now the next result, let fx is equal to cn x raised to power n plus cn minus 1 x raised to power n minus 1 plus cn minus 2 x raised to power n minus 2 plus so on plus c1x plus c naught denotes a polynomial with integral coefficients. If a is congruent to b mod m, then fa is congruent to fb mod m. We have fx is given as a polynomial where c0, c1, c2, cn minus cn are integers. Therefore fa becomes this one, fb becomes this one, marking this as number 1 and 2, replacing x by a and b in fx. Since it is given that a is congruent to b mod m, therefore ak is congruent to bk mod m for k is from 0 to n by theorem 8th. Then for each k, ck ak is congruent to ck bk mod m, marking this as number 3 by theorem 4. Putting k is equal to 0, 1, 2 n in third and adding the n plus 1 congruencies so obtained, we have c0 plus c1a plus so on cna is congruent to c0 plus c1b plus so on cnb mod m by theorem 5th second part. This implies fa is congruent to fb mod m using first and second here. Now taking some solved examples. First one is find a such that a is congruent to 7 mod 5. As a is for the solution, a is congruent to 7 mod 5, therefore a minus 7 is equal to 5k where k is any integer, or a is equal to 7 plus 5k where k is any integer. Putting k is equal to 0, 1, 2 minus 1 minus 2, successfully we get a is equal to 7, 12, 17 so on. Hence all the integers in first are congruent to 7 mod 5. Find the least positive integer mod 11 to which 282 is congruent. By actual division, we have 285 is congruent to 11 into 25 plus 7. Hence 7 is the required least positive integer such that 282 is congruent to 7 mod 11. If a is odd, show that a square is congruent to 1 mod 8. Since a is odd, therefore it can be written as a is equal to 2k plus 1, where k belongs to integer. Therefore a square is becomes equal to, making square, 4k square plus 4k plus 1, or written as 4k into k plus 1 plus 1. Now we know that the product of two conjugated integers is divisible by 2 factorial, that is 2. Therefore a square becomes 8m plus 1, or a square minus 1 is equal to 8m. This implies 8 divides a square minus 1. This implies a square is congruent to 1 mod 8. Show that 3 raised to power 4n plus 2 plus 5 raised to power 2n plus 1 is congruent to 0 mod 14. Let fn is equal to 3 raised to power 4n plus 2 plus 5 raised to power 2n plus 1. We shall use the principle of mathematical induction to prove the desired result. First we shall show that fn is divisible by 14 for all n. Putting n equal to 1, this is 844, which is divisible by 14. Therefore fn is divisible by 14. Thus the result is true for n equal to 1. Let the result be true for some n, that is fn is divisible by 14. Therefore fn can be written as multiple of 14, that is 14k, where k is any integer. This implies 3 raised to power 4n plus 2 plus 5 raised to power 2n plus 1 is equal to 14k. That is 3 raised to power 4n plus 2 is equal to 14k minus 5 raised to power 2n plus 1, marking this as number 1. Changing n to n plus in fn, we have fn plus 1 is equal to 3 raised to power 4 into n plus 1 plus 2 plus 5 raised to power 2 n plus 1 plus, simplifying and using 1 here, we get this value. Therefore fn plus 1 is divisible by 14 whenever fn is divisible by 14. Hence by principle of mathematical induction, fn is divisible by 14 for all n. This implies 14 divides fn minus 0. This implies fn is congruent to 0 mod 14. Hence 3 raised to power 4n plus 2 plus 5 raised to power 2n plus 1 is congruent to 0 mod 14. Find the remainder on dividing the sum 1 factorial, 2 factorial, 3 factorial, so on 100 factorial by 12. We have 4 factorial is equal to 24, that is 2 into 12. Therefore 12 divides 4 factorial, or 4 factorial is congruent to 0 mod 12. Similarly 5 factorial is equal to 5 into 4 factorial is multiple of 12. Therefore 5 factorial is congruent to 0 mod 12, and so on. Therefore 4 factorial plus 5 factorial plus 100 factorial is congruent to 0 mod 12, marking this as number 1. Adding 1 factorial, 2 factorial, 3 factorial is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 6, that is 9 on both sides of first. We have, hence 9 is the remainder when we divide the sum this by 12. Now next one, find the remainder in the division of 2 raised to power 20 by 7. We have 2 is congruent to 2 mod 7, 2 raised to power 2 congruent to 4 mod 7, 2 raised to power 3 is congruent to mod 7, or 2 raised to power 3 is congruent to 1 mod 7. When 8 is divided by 7, the remainder is 1. Here writing 1, this is second. Raising second to power 6, we get 2 raised to power 18 is congruent to 1 mod 7, marking this as number 3. Multiplying first and third, first and third we have 2 raised to power 20 is congruent to 4 mod 7. Thus 4 is the remainder when 2 raised to power 20 is divided by 7. Next problem, find the remainder when 2 raised to power 40 is divided by 105. We have 2 raised to power 2 is congruent to 1 mod 3. 2 raised to power 4 is congruent to 1 mod 5. 2 raised to power 6 is congruent to 1 mod 7, marking this as 1, 2 and 3. Raising 1 to power 24, 2 to power 12 and 3 to power 8 on both sides, we get 248 is congruent to 1 mod 3. 2 raised to power 48 is congruent to 1 mod 5. 2 raised to power 48 is congruent to 1 mod 7, marking as 4, 5, 6. From 4th, 5th and 6th we have 2 raised to power 48 is congruent to 1 mod LCM of 357 and LCM of 357 is 105. 1 is the remainder when 248 is divided by 105. Now find the remainder when 111 raised to power 333 plus 333 raised to power 111 is divided by 7. We have 111 is congruent to minus 1 mod 7, marking this as number 1. Raising 1 to power 333, we get 11 raised to power 333 is equal to minus 1 raised to power 33 mod 7. Or 111 raised to power 333 is congruent to minus 1 mod 7, marking this as 2. Also 333 is congruent to 4 mod 7 raised to power 3, that is 333 raised to power 3 is congruent to 64 mod 7. Using 64 is congruent to 1 mod 7, we get 333 raised to power 3 is congruent to 1 mod 7. Raising 3 to power 37, this becomes 333 raised to power 111 is congruent to 1 mod 7, marking this as number 4. Adding congruencies second and fourth, we get remainder is 0 when the quantity is divided by 7. Now the next problem, example number 10th. If A plus B is congruent to C mod M and B is congruent to D mod M, show that A plus D is congruent to C mod M. Solution, we have A plus B is congruent to C mod M, number 1, and B is congruent to D mod M, marking this as number 2. Subtracting congruencies second from first, we have A is congruent to C minus D mod M, marking this as number 3. Adding D on both sides of 3, we have A plus D is congruent to C mod M. Now if AB is congruent to C mod M and B is congruent to D mod M, show that AD is congruent to C mod M. Since AB is congruent to C mod M, therefore M divides AB minus C. This implies AB minus C is equal to MK for some integer K, marking this as number 1. Also since B is congruent to D mod M, therefore M divides B minus D. This implies B minus D is equal to LM, implies B is equal to D plus LM, marking this as number 2. Putting the value of B from second in first, we have A into D plus LM minus C is equal to MK, or AD minus C is equal to MK minus ALM, equal to M into K minus AL. Thus M divides AD minus C. Hence AD is congruent to C mod M. Now example number 13th. If A is congruent to B mod M1, A is congruent to B mod M2 and M is equal to greatest common divisor of M1 and M2, that is M is greatest common divisor of M1 and M2, then prove that A is congruent to B mod M. Is the converse true? If not, show by an example. Since for the solution A is congruent to B mod M1 and A is congruent to B mod M2, Therefore, m1 divides a minus b, m2 divides a minus b, marking this as number 1. As greatest common divisor of m1 and m2 is equal to m, therefore m divides m1 and m divides m2, marking this as number 2. From first and second, m divides m1 and m1 divides a minus b implies m divides a minus b. This implies a is congruent to b mod m. But the converse is not true, as is evident from the following example. Let m1 is equal to 10 and m2 equal to 15. Greatest common divisor is 5. Let a is 25, b is 20. Thus we have 25 is congruent to 20 mod 5. This is 1. But 25 is not congruent to 20 mod 10. That is, a is not congruent to b mod m1. And 25 is not congruent to 20 mod 25. That is, a is not congruent to b mod m2. The converse of the above theorem is not true. Now, example 14th. If a is congruent to b mod m, then show that greatest common divisor of am is equal to greatest common divisor of bm. As for the solution, a is congruent to b mod m, therefore a is equal to b plus mq for some integer q, marking this as number 1. Also, since greatest common divisor of am divides a and greatest common divisor of am is divides m, therefore from first, greatest common divisor of am divides b and hence greatest common divisor of am divides greatest common divisor of bm. Similarly, we can prove that greatest common divisor of bm divides greatest common divisor of am, hence both are equal. Dear students, try exercise 2.1. If you have any problem, then discuss with me. Thank you.